Hello, you treasure seekers. Okay, in this video I'm going to explain the hints to be found in Mr. Fenn's book called The Thrill of the Chase, which you see in front of you. I assume you have the book with you. If you don't, that's okay, but it helps if you have the book. Okay, so first of all, first clue is to be found on halfway down, page 48. In this clue, he mentions working as a kid in the Totem Cafe, which is in the town of West Yellowstone. Used to be there. And he got scolded by some scalding water when he was washing the dishes. He says, caused deep canyons in his hands, and because he was trying to clean off some brown gravy, which he now hates. So it's pretty obvious it's a clue. The scalding water is sort of like the warm waters. Deep canyon, scalding, by the way, if you didn't know, means hot. Hot enough to scald you. Deep canyons in his hands, pretty obvious it's canyon down. And brown gravy is obviously a reference to Home of Brown. So basically what he's saying is the first three clues should be near the town of West Yellowstone, and true enough they are, as I explain in my other video. Okay, so we'll move on here. Second clue is page 109. He mentions Canyon Road, which is second clue of the poem is Firehole Canyon Road. If you look that up, page 124. There's pictures of brown trout. Brown trout is the home of brown trout, I should say. And lastly, for the regular clues, he mentions the Madison River twice in the book. Madison River is where Warm Waters halts, the Warm Waters being the Firehole River. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about the biggest clue in the whole book. Okay, so you get the book here. At the very end of the book is, I'll try to show you here. So there's two markings right there at the very end of the book. And it's a very important clue. I'll go back to the book again. So why does he put these two markings there? Those are the two omega symbols of the Greek alphabet. This is, by the way, the word that is key that everybody wonders about, which is omega, which is the key to finding this treasure, or helps a lot anyway. So what I'll do is, first of all, have a good look at the poem that he has in the book, famous poem. And you notice that, I'll just show the viewer, I've written it out to make it more easier I should say. The poem has every letter of the alphabet used. He's used A at least twice, B at least twice, C at least twice, D at least twice. But he has not used, he's even used, I should say, the letter Z's twice in the poem. Letters Q, which are difficult to use, and J twice. But he has not used X's twice, and there's a reason for that. He substituted the omega symbol for the X's. Do you see what he's done? Okay, so how do we know this? Because the omega symbol is the 24th letter of the Greek alphabet. So basically what he's trying to say is look for the 24th letter of the Greek alphabet. You know, when you say X marks a spot on the map, so in this case, omega symbol marks a spot on the map, and in a few seconds I'll show you what I mean. So the 24th letter of the regular alphabet is X, and the 24th letter of the Greek alphabet is the omega symbol. So what I'm saying is omega symbol is for X. Okay? And there's 2 at the back of the book because there's 2 of every letter that's used in his poem except X. Do you see? And by the way, the omega symbol looks like a horseshoe, and we'll get back to that in just a second. So going back to the book again, and how do we know I'm right about this? Okay, so look at the book again. On page 10, he's mentioned about buying a book that was 6 inches by 4 inches. Multiply those two together, it's 24. Page 79, he's mentioned about 24 gauges on his jet fighter plane. Page 18, he's mentioned 24th of December. And going back to when he was washing dishes, he got paid $8 for 16 hours work. Add those two together, it's 24. And there's also 24 lines in the poem. It's all very intentional. So he's constructed it like an archaeologist. And how do we know this is correct? Two more hints in the book. Page 40. Remember, he's using the Greek alphabet here. Omega is the last letter of the Greek alphabet. So page 40, he's mentioned about alpha, first letter of the Greek alphabet. And page 113, he's mentioned about alpha teacher, which is sort of a weird thing to say, unless you're using that as a hint. So now what we'll do is, since what he's done is he said look for two omega symbols, but you can't look for them as omega symbols. You look for them as they look like two horseshoes. And if you look on the book one more time, on page 135, he talks about horseshoes. It's very intentional. So what we do now is we look for horseshoes on the map. Okay, so what you see in front of you, sorry about the jostling here, very amateurish video. This is the Firehole River, and this is a famous area called the Mule Shoe Bend. In other words, the Horseshoe Bend, Mule Shoe, Horseshoe. And just down, oh sorry, right here is where he left the treasure. So it's the blaze right there. And see how close it is to the horseshoe area. See, the horseshoe is the omega symbol, which is the X. And there's another one up here. See that one there? And that's the other omega symbol. Simple as that. And in my other video, I show that this is indeed the correct area to look for the treasure, which is being retrieved, by the way, I believe by Mr. Fenn, for his various reasons. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.